What's up, chat? Ragna isn't big enough, and Velvet isn't small enough. Thank God I'm drawing digitally. Namely, Velvet's shoulders are a little too wide here. Because she has this weird-ass coat, it kind of gets easier to mess up her her proportions, because the shoulders look wider than they should be, because the coat has that weird kind of like jagged edges to it. Her fashion in general is like a weird fantastical alt variant, a bit over-designed, like everything else in the Tales. Tales, I was watching some of the skits before I drew this. Tales is so close to being a good game, like all of them, but they're always just like a little bit off. They can always only get to like a 7.5 out of 10 on the video game journalist gaming scale. Like, they have the right idea, but the execution is always just like a few steps short. The characters are never that good. The story is never that good. The combat is always good enough. Like, I think the core concept is there, but they always just can't seem to land the plane completely. It's a C-tier series for sure. I feel like if there was just like one person who was like, you need to cut this part, you need to expand this part. This character is too depressing, this character is too anime. If there's just like one person to be like, I'm the director and I know what I'm doing, it could be like a good series, but it never is. It's always just a little bit short. Pragmata, Barefoot Loli, shut the fuck up, please. I'm not drawing the Barefoot Loli unless people ask me to. And by people, I mean on my Patreon. Also, this is one part where I have to agree with all the puritanical Twitter virtue signalers when they call it a pedophile's view of what having a child might be like. I'm like, yeah, that seems about right regarding that one. It's not as annoying if you're listening to the Japanese voice acting, though. When you're listening to the Japanese voice acting, my tolerance for Loli's acting cute goes way up, but if it's in English, it just feels weird. Barefoot Loli seems like peak seasonal character forgotten next month, not for the Loli cones. The Uowers will be continuing to be Uowering in the future as well. I think I feel confident about that, at least. That being said, This is when we complain about how video games, like, they don't used to make, like, new IP mid-budget. I mean, I don't even know if it's a mid-budget, but, like, titles that weren't supposed to sell 10 trillion copies and took, like, 6 years to develop. This is what we're talking about. We used to have all these games all the time, like Vanquish and Binary Domain, both Japanese companies that were like, let's make some sci-fi shooters. And they were both fun, and a lot of fun. So we should support this shit so that video game companies aren't going to be like, yes, we will bet everything on the next Monster Hunter, and it won't come out for the next 8 years again. Right? We must be the change that we want to see in the industry. And buy the lowly game. I legitimately can't tell if chat is trying to piss me off right now or not on purpose. Like, I can't tell if I'm being trolled or not. My guess is that the first person who asked if that's Cloud was being honest, and then Totem Pole is just trying to make me angry on purpose. You guys are too good at acting retarded. You've truly accomplished the award of you have angered the streamer. Your default setting is angry. I don't like people. Even when I have to deal with them through a screen from thousands of miles away. I think I need to lower this here. Some say when it comes to JRPG heavy hitters, Falcom Trails is better than Berseria or any Tales. I don't really think Tales are good video games in general. They feel like the Kirkland brand JRPG, kind of. Except they're a little too good to be Kirkland brand. They're not really store brand level, but unlike, say, buying a bunch of, like, pistachios or something at your local supermarket, you don't really have a need to play JRPGs. I guess some people do, but... So, they don't really have the same kind of... There isn't as much urgency. I'm someone who wants a good JRPG, and I've tried to pick up Tales games many times. And really the only one that kind of hit was Symphonia, which was sort of like most Western gamers' first Tales, I would say, because it was like on the GameCube, and as usual, Nintendo wasn't making enough games for the GameCube. So it kind of hit at a different time, but I don't think I finished Abyss after that, but I started like 3 or 4 other Tales games after that. I didn't finish any of them. And after I forced myself to finish Tales of Abyss, I was like, well, that was kind of a waste of time. I think one of the main problems with Tales is that it's aimed at edgelord teenagers, so that because of that, it thinks that having like depressing setups and depressing stories and stuff like that is like cool. But when you actually like examine the entire experience you've had playing the game, the depressing stories and stuff don't really add much to it. Tales of Abyss was especially that. A lot of the depressing story elements don't actually make a better experience. Symphonia is a 30-year-old geezer favorite along with Golden Sun, where you had to be on it when it came out to give a fuck about it. Symphonia was good because people in the West weren't playing Tales at the time. So we can kind of look at it through rose-colored glasses. But it was popular enough that it got a sequel, so... Front Mission 3 specifically. I never played Front Mission 3. I actually bought it for like $5 and I started it. But I had already played Front Mission 4 and 5 at the time. So I was kind of already getting bored with the gameplay, which had not actually evolved that much since the PS1 era. Front Mission was another game in which it was like really good at its time. And then Square Enix was like, surely this is a valuable IP, right? And then they didn't know what to do with it and failed multiple times to reboot it. Honestly, they would have made more money if they just had produced it with the exact same gameplay, but then they were like, we're going to make it into a Call of Duty clone or something, and they failed horribly, but that's the entire story of Square Enix. Specifically Square. Post-merger, they're just like, we have all these really successful IPs, let's try rebooting them again. It spawned a great doujin, though. Are we just gonna start judging our video game franchises based on the quality of doujins? You'd think there'd be more Final Fantasy XIV doujins, you know? There's only like 2 or 3 good Final Fantasy XIV doujins, even though like the entire player base is occupied with extremely horny cat role players. And there's just straight up scenes within Final Fantasy XIV where you rescue a bunch of women that have been captured by pirates, you know, with the implications being they were being used as sex slaves and stuff like that. So there's a lot of elements in Final Fantasy XIV that make you think that there would be more doujins and stuff, but there aren't. I base quality of JP fantasy games by how tasty the food seems. Final Fantasy 15 has great looking food, and as a game, it fucking sucks. So I don't know if your system is working. You feel any of the North Coast earthquake today? I'm too far west. Basically, all of Japan is an earthquake zone, but I kind of feel that the north gets more earthquakes. I think you can look at maps for some kind of insight on this. No matter how many times I draw Ragna's hairstyle, it doesn't look correct. And if you try and look at the references, his hairstyle is dramatically different depending on which video game and which artist drew it. They just have this vague idea of like a spiky anime hairstyle, but they didn't have any like real concrete guidelines on how to accomplish it. It's vastly different between each artwork. Didn't a game just film actual food instead of animating it? That was Dragon's Dogma 2, I believe. It was fine. If they're gonna just, if they're going to cut budget and instead just straight up have a video of someone grilling a steak, I think that's fine. It was still a good looking steak, so... I think I can't make the sideburn area of the spiky hair too long because that kind of makes him look like Cloud. That's one of Cloud's, the Cloud's spiky hair distinctions is the, these things. They go down pretty far. But Ragnar's more close to the, closely cropping the face like this. On the topic, do you know any good diner chain in Tokyo? Basically every place's food is good in Japan, I would say. That's the good thing about the Japanese food market is there's very low, the floor is very high when you're choosing Japanese food. Pretty much every country has like high ceilings if you go to like the best locations. But in Japan you can basically walk into pretty much any kind of establishment and get decent food. Which is definitely not the case in the United States. When you walk into KFC in the United States, prepare for suffering. Japanese KFC, on the other hand, is fine. Draw a name tag on the table to avoid confusion. Is it just me, or is chat just being really good at pissing me off today? Like, way more than usual. I can't tell if it's because I woke up in a bad mood or something, because I didn't feel like I was waking up in the bad mood. But, like, chat today is just doing a really good job of just, like, whipping me up into a frothing rage at their fucking annoying comments. I just want to go on a fucking ban spree right now. But, I also don't have the ability to maintain conversation in this stream when I've banned the entire chat, so... Bro, maybe it's time to get laid. Where's Constrictor? I need to ban him. Right now. This clump of hair in the back of the head in particular, I'm having difficulty trying to figure out what the shape is. God, it's so inconsistent between every single one of the artworks. It's just this vaguely spiky concept, right? This here is like completely different from this. I mean, these two are sort of close together, but this one is like, it's like practically a different person right here. This hair, the difference between this hair and this hair and this hair are pretty fucking wild. This one is also very much different. This one is also different. If it's inconsistent, then just make it up. I'm trying to, but it doesn't look right. I just need to feel the spirit of the hair. The soul of the hair. Alright, whatever. This is good enough. Nobody's gonna give me a fucking medal just because I wasted 10 hours trying to make sure Ragna's hair looked right. Most of the people in here don't even follow BlazBlue lore to know who he is. BlazBlue lore is just like make your own anime Chuny story. This is my OC Do Not Steal Ragna Blood Edge. He absorbed the blue grimoire when he was a kid, which is what caused his most beloved sister to get absorbed by the darkness and sent to the Shadow Realm. From that day forward, he realized that he needed strength to protect his nakama and the people who matter to him, and he began training. He started his training arc with Jubei, the legendary swordsman. Despite the darkness, he keeps a light-hearted spirit because he knows that he has to stay strong and optimistic so that his loved ones will not be harmed by the secret organization. Wow, BB knows. I had to read the wiki for about 20 seconds so I could write the dialogue of this scene. And it was just like, okay, I understand what this is. It's just anime. It's just paint by the numbers anime plotline. Okay, this arm is too long. The reason why this arm is too long is because it's going toward the viewer so that the length should be compressed some. So the length of the forearm, yeah, it has to be significantly shorter like this because of the compression going on. Maybe around here. BB, do more research on BlazBlue Taokaka Bullet Makoto. Bullet is a Genki girl who wears shorts and has big titties. That doesn't get any artwork because she's low tier and the video game already has a lot of sexo characters in the first place. Can you remind me why they look so done with everything? Somebody update in the chat why Ragna's life is suffering and why Velvet Crow's suffering, and thus why they often get shipped together and they get called, you know, the female version of Ragna and stuff like that. Because I read the wiki, and as typical of wikis, it just goes, and then Ragna fought this character, and then he fought this character, and then he fought this character, which is like typical fighting game plot line, right? You just need a reason to fight all the different characters. And I was like, I'm not gonna fucking read this, I'm just gonna assume that his life is suffering. I can't be bothered with this shit. It's so frustrating when you're trying to learn lore. Imagine my experience having to read the Warhammer 40k wiki because people are like, excuse me, sir, please draw artwork of the lunar wolves. And if, like, you get something even slightly wrong, they're like, excuse me, sir, that version of the Space Marine helmet is, it's out of date. The lunar wolves were not using that in the Age of Darkness campaign. Jeskin Berseria wiki, yeah, they are similar. Okay. Because before I started, I also checked Rule 34 to see how much of Velvet's artwork is her having sex with Ragna, and it's a significant percentage. It's about the same percentage as sex of Bowser is Bowser having sex with Peach. No Bowsette. Well, Bowser is a bad comparison because a lot of his artwork is just gay stuff. In the case of Velvet, she's either getting, like, fucked by tentacles or she's having sex with Ragna. Bowser and Peach make a lot of sense, though. Just like Ragna and Velvet, because they're the same character and they're both suffering. So obviously they should be shipped. I don't know. I don't know how shippers' minds work. It's just like when a community just decides that this is just what the dick is gonna be going forward. It's like, think how weird it would be if you were drawing like Naruto porn and instead of Raikage having sex with like every single female, it was like Sai or something. Everyone would be like, are you okay, dude? Do you want to talk to someone? What's wrong? Why aren't you drawing Raikage sticking his penis inside Tsunade? Don't you know that Raikage is the only Naruto character that's allowed to have sex with women? Honestly, I was browsing my Pixiv porn follower updates yesterday, and once again Raikage was fucking Naruto characters, and I was just thinking, like, I hope this guy's okay, you know? He's literally responsible for impregnating every single female in the Naruto universe. None of these Naruto characters are fucking their wives, right? It has to be, it all falls on poor Raikage's hands. His balls must just be eternally drained. Shippers have 3 modes. They're hot, they spoke to each other, actual reasons with paragraphs on a dynamic. I heard they made him gay in canon just to try to quench the smut. I guess one question is, why is it always Raikage and not his brother Killer B? Killer B is even more black-coded than the Raikage. He raps and stuff. Shouldn't he be the one giving the dick? And yet he only appears when he's like double teaming Tsunade with his brother. It's just like when a community decides like one thing is just like the canon, everyone's overwhelmingly like, okay, this is what we're doing going forward. Killer B is too autistic. No, he's just a creative artist. I swear, he's just like me. He's not autistic. He's just creative, guys. He's a poet. It's not the tism, surely. Didn't Tsunade beat Raikage in an arm wrestling match? Yes, but that means nothing because we all know that she can't beat the cock. Hentai has confirmed to me multiple times that older women who have not received the penis recently, when the penis is stuck inside them, they immediately lose to it. So I'm gonna assume this is true. Especially when you stick it in their asshole. Strong-willed women, when you stick your penis inside their asshole, they immediately lose to it. Many female knights have confirmed this. Think Kisame got any bitches on his double shark dick? I think Kisame is pure. Is there any kind of Fujoshi Kisame, what's his name? Itachi, gay pairings? Because I feel like there should be. They seem like bros. Itachi Kisame. I'm seeing one or two. Unfortunately, Itachi isn't very good Bada Dojin content because some of the best Itachi Dojins are him being made female. Feminized Itachi is a big thing, so there's like one artist who's pretty skilled who did like 6 or 7 female Itachi incest with Sasuke dojins and stuff. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of female Itachi here. There's some gay Itachi, but a lot of female Itachi. This one I'm sure you are familiar with. Imagine if you're just a standard Konoha ninja and your sister looks like this. Can you categorize all Akatsuki members into tops and bottoms? I'm just going to assume they're all bottoms, which is why they're so unsuccessful. A common problem, apparently. They're all just sort of standing around waiting for somebody to top and stick it in, and nobody does it. I mean, think about like the abilities some of them have. Like one guy his entire ability is literally getting stabbed, and he's immortal, so he can transfer the damage. But all of his success is completely hinges on people stabbing him. If he doesn't take the spear dick, then he ain't getting anything done. There was one guy who was his buddy who is like tentacle land, but I think he might be the only one who's capable of topping. Itachi is clearly a power bottom. Itachi was clearly like, Sasuke, I have to tutor you with my bussy. Proof once again that tops are in short supply when it is go time in the dicking department. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm worried about Raikage-sama's health. Is his balls are okay? I don't know whether to be impressed or annoyed that they never explained the immortality. This guy is immortal, deal with it. I'm sort of okay with that kind of stuff, considering how fucking broken some of the ninja abilities became later in the series. Just being like immortal isn't that big a deal, if you think about it. Compared to like, I'm a moon ninja! That type of shit. They just become like wizards and stuff in the final half of the anime, so... Danzo did nothing wrong. Danzo just tried to stop Itachi from sexually harassing his younger brother. He was trying to stop all the incest among the Itachi clan, the Uchiha clan, and he got in trouble for it. That's my interpretation. I put in my 3-week notice Friday, and today I came into work as normal, and I later discovered that my key card doesn't work for the cafeteria break room. I see how it is. I assume you're working in America. America has such an obscenely hostile relationship with its workforce. Like, they basically treat you in a normal situation as, like, a resource to be exploited. But, like, if you have, like, even the slightest amount of ideas of, like, I don't know, unionizing or something, like, you're just straight up the company's enemy. If there was a 10th level of hell, it would be reserved for HR. You know what's common among HR employees? They're women. Perhaps we are seeing a common thread here. But all the incel chuds online being like, real jobs aren't done anymore. It's just white-collar jobs meant to allow women to exist in the workforce. It's like, well, that's a sexist opinion. However, consider the following. Main reason why half our department went to shit. Of course, it's pretty normal for people to hate the department in charge of firing and hiring people, considering they're the one who's going to fire you. Japan gets out of this problem by not being allowed to fire anybody, and instead just making working conditions so bad for everybody that people want to be fired. And if you try and leave the company, the local CEO of your tiny ass manufacturing company will show up directly at your house and start doing dogeza in front of your doorstep until you take away your notice of quitting because there's only like 20 people working at the factory and they'll literally go bankrupt if they don't have enough slaves. It's kind of the opposite approach to American worker issues in that, like, it's like they make it like a prison and they don't allow you to quit. At least in America, you can leave. She lost half of the sales department. How the fuck are we going to get clients? I hope she doges us naked. I require apology. See, if this was hentai, you know how it would work, right? The female employee would be sexy glasses OL Onesan in her mid-30s, so she has fat ass and pantyhose and stuff. And then after she does a crucial flaw in operational judgment, she has to dogeza in front of the ugly Oji-san and perform sexual acts. Unfortunately, this is America, so I'm assuming that whoever you're talking about is grossly overweight and nobody would want to see them naked. As is often the case. She gets fucked by the remainder of the department and I'm the guy in reflective glasses recording it. Hurrah! She's fit at fuck? Okay, well, you might not be in the Midwest. I'm glad I am not being employed by anybody right now. Did you see that American AI company Sephiroth posting yesterday? No, I did not. HR women are usually pretty well kept and insufferable as hell. In retrospect, the HR woman when I was working at Toyota was also not overweight, so I guess that's true. See, that is a thing. In Japan, there is no chance women get to be in charge of HR. It's weird how it's just become like the female job in American corporate culture. I wonder why. Because Japan's still being conservative. If you're like, we should have a woman in charge of firing and hiring people, all the ugly bastard Showa Oji-san would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you high? Why would we ever let a woman make decisions? Women exist to serve us tea. Or at least that was their previous stance, but now they're not allowed to ask for it. So instead, women exist to use Excel spreadsheets and do menial office work. And then men have to do the same work, but then also work in the factory, is generally how it works in Japan. Half of the time, the women working the Excel in the office are being run by the CEO's wife. So she can't be fired. Because it's an easier, softer blow to have a lady deliver shitty news. Yeah, women have this reputation that they're good at, I don't know, managing people's egos, and they're, you know, team builders instead of, like, inviting conflict or something. Which, like, who knows? It seems like a pretty stupid stereotype. I don't think anybody's gonna like anybody who's firing them, so it's like, whatever. You're fired, Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump, also an extremely bad business owner, by the way. Women are viewed as less threatening. As an incel chud, I disagree. I'm extremely threatened by every female I see. The very fact that they're not providing me with sex this moment drives me into a frothing rage. Why are they not providing me with sex despite the fact that they owe me that very thing? You wouldn't dare hit a woman dropping bad news, right? I mean, is any American worker gonna punch HR just because they got fired? I feel like nobody expects to not be fired in 2026. You're just like, go to next job. Like, who is like, oh my god, I'm getting fired even though I work in America? It's just like, for my entire adult life, we've been living in the era of quote-unquote layoffs. Remember when we used to call it getting fired? You probably don't, because we started calling it layoffs as early as like the year 2000. They just keep on inventing new words for firing people. We're restructuring, guys. Even old man BB would probably score no props if he cared to inconvenience himself. Yes, but then I'd have to touch the pussy, the most cursed of all organs. Unfortunately unfireable, and now I'm training some guy from Sri Lanka. They're trying to. They're like, perhaps Sri Lankan Rajesh will replace you soon, maybe? But no, he cannot. Like, make no mistake, every single company is trying to figure out a way to fire you, especially if, like, you're a senior employee and you cost them a lot of money. They're just failing. It's pretty easy to get laid if you lower your standards. Yeah, part of my standards are not letting anybody within like 20 feet of me, so it kind of makes it difficult to have sex. I'm gonna have to wait for my AI girlfriend. Then we can have hot virtual sex in the metaverse in 2050. I'm an analyst, so no one has been able to do my fucking job. They failed every time. Obviously, they just need to get the new Claude Code version or whatever. Didn't you hear? AI is just as capable at analyzing information as a real human. Surely a LLM can do your job. You just need... See, this isn't a problem of nobody being able to do your job. It's just a problem of not having management that's delusional enough and not aware enough about how the processes actually work. If you get a dumb enough tech bro as your CEO, they'll be like, we can just replace our workforce. My major thesis was AI-based. Now I hate all models, goal-based, regenerative, or even generic. If you're knowledgeable about AI, the chances of you getting fired will be even lower because they'll be like, when we do implement AI, we're going to need you to supervise it. If your Sri Lankan understudy doesn't work out, you're going to have an AI understudy, and then you're going to be like forced to babysit like whatever version of ChatGPT is being sold at the time. Although I feel like before that happened, like all the AI companies are just going to fucking collapse, so it won't actually even get that far. We're already using AI models to listen to calls. I mean, if it's just like a version of speech to text, I feel like that's what LLMs are supposed to be for, right? Is just like absorbing language-based information and then shitting it back out in a summarized form. That's like one of the few things that it actually seems like an appropriate use of it. Tell your company you can help them rebrand as a blockchain AI-first company. Did you guys see the news? I'm sure you did, of the Allbirds shoe company rebranding itself as a AI company. You know we've reached peak bubble situation when completely unrelated corporations are like, we're just gonna rebrand ourselves as an AI company, that means they're officially reached the point where it's like, we can trick some dumb people and our stock value will go up if we just call ourselves an AI company, and now I'm gonna sell all my stock and get the fuck out of here. I don't know what their profit margin was, but it's obviously like really bad, and they're trying to cash in by just like attaching AI to their stuff, and then they can get the fuck out. If we ever needed any more evidence that this was a massive bubble, this is like exhibit number 12. Bubbles are fun because everyone is on it. Everyone knew the price would skyrocket. I think you might be overestimating the stupidity of some investors. I don't think everyone is on it. Because the price skyrocketing means that, like, someone is buying it, right? So that's, by definition, it's not everyone isn't in on it. I think in general we overestimate people's intelligence, especially people in, like, positions of power, because it's too terrifying to think how stupid they could possibly be. But in the case of the stock market especially, like, I think a lot of these people have zero fucking idea what they're doing. There are brainless suits just being like, I want to get rich, and hoping that everything works out. Sell your AI stocks. I might sell my Nvidia at 200. You need to ask yourself, like, am I in the stock market to be, like, insanely wealth, or am I just in the stock market to have, like, a safety net of savings? And if you're owning Nvidia stock right now and you sell it right now, think how much money. Like, personally, I've already kind of maxed out my lifestyle in terms of how much happier I could be. Even if I had, like, dramatically more money, I wouldn't be that much happier, so I'm generally going to be much more risk-averse with my stocks. I think I sold out when the S&P was, like, around 6,900 or so, and it's like 7,000 now. So I'm definitely missing out on some cash and shit, but I had a very low income last year, so it was a good time to sell my stock, I guess. Sell me this pen. This pen is powered by AI. Shh, don't tell them that. It'll actually, like, they'll have fucking ideas. That seems like a real Mark Zuckerberg type thing. I feel like Mark Zuckerberg, you could, like, get him to try and develop an AI-powered pen. Like, that seems like the kind of shit he would waste $1 billion on developing, and everyone would be like, this sucks. Like, it's an auto-writing pen or something. Alright, I have to take a piss. Be right back. Ugh! Ugh! Ah! 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 I've already seen a pen with Chat GPT in it. It scans writing and summarizes the info. It also solves math equations. Isn't Chat GPT, like, notoriously bad at, like, doing normal math and shit? Maybe they have like a secondary layer that actually has a proper calculator in it. But I remember there's like videos of like dudes asking ChatGPT just to count from like 1 to 200 and stuff, and it can't do it. Have a good night. Too late in GMT time in this garbage island. I hope to leave in a year. Are you in Britain or something? What is GMT? Greenwich. Ah, yes. How can it be bad at math? A calculator exists? Well, I think if they have a secondary, like, layer to the LLM. Yeah? Oh, I'm so sorry. My condolences. Imagine being English. Being English is horrible, but I feel like it's even worse if you're like Irish or Scottish and stuff because you lost to the fucking English. That's even worse. The counting down thing is because they don't want to waste computing power on generating extra text. I actually read that it's not actually like wasting computing power. It's because like you can jailbreak LLMs. Irish or people are pretty cool. That's what I'm saying. The Irish and the Scottish are cool people, and the Welsh, the non-English. And then they have to suffer in Britain. The stupid fucking British Empire. Where the hell would you move to? Netherlands? I mean, if you can speak English, there's a lot of countries that have English speaking. I don't know where I would move to if I was living in the British Isles. I mean, the location that all the British people go to is Spain, and then they all get like the fucking drunk British tourists every year. Poor Spanish people. They are cool because they had to deal with the British. That might be true. They had an excellent example of how not to behave around them. I've seen a lot of shitty British tourists in Japan on YouTube. Yeah, but even the Japanese British tourists are nothing compared to the Spain British tourists. Because the British tourists in Japan, they might be treating Japan like a theme park, but that's pretty much like every country. But the British tourists that go to Spain are going there specifically to get shit-faced. They're like the absolute worst type of people to have around, so... The French that consistently fight off the English in historic battles. Well, the French hate the English, but the French kind of hate everybody, so... Flight to Spain is also like $35 or something. Japan is expensive. I hear that there's like British people who go to Spain to drink like on the weekend and then come back hammered to go back to work and then go again and stuff like that, which just seems like a fucking awful, awful situation if you're in Spain. Here's the fucking Brits coming in. I got a killer headache. Can you whisper in a soothing way so I can keep listening?
It's okay, big guy. I got you here. Just relax. Just relax.
Why do you have such a... Why does this trigger Hystrixia so much? I don't get it. Is it the fucking tingly shit? I don't know. Welcome to the comfy BaalBud stream. Shut it down. Wonders of the EU, Europeans traveling to other European countries to be ugly tourists. It's so weird, it's like you're not a robot anymore. I'm a real human boy. With real feelings. When I activate my ASMR comfy personality. Ningen. I'm trying to remember what the English translation for Ningen Shikaku is. I think it was like something like, it should be like human failure. No longer human, that's right. I always thought that was a good translation. As the title might suggest, it's a depressing story. It tells the story of a troubled man incapable of revealing his true self to others and who instead maintains a facade of hollow jocularity, later turning to a life of alcoholism and drug abuse before his final disappearance. The original title translates as disqualified as a human being, or a failed human. The book was published 1 month after Dazai's suicide at age of 38. I've made it 1 year longer than Dazai, by the way. Pure depression fuel, as is often the case with post-war and actually pre-war as well, Japanese literature. Japanese literature is, it falls into like one of two categories, either depression fuel or depression fuel in which you get to have sex with geishas. Poor guy, no wonder they turned him into edgy anime twink. Eventually it comes for all of us. We're all gonna get turned into edgy anime twinks if we live long enough, or cute anime girls. Any historical figure is being either turned into an anime twink or an anime girl in Fate Grand Order, or any other version of, you know, the Fate archetypes. You're gonna be made into a cute anime girl in a gacha sooner or later. The first notebook focus on Yozo Oba's extreme conflict with understanding humans. Despite being born into a decent and well-off family, he struggles with a constant feeling of utmost otherness. He is confused about the people surrounding him and the things they do, even his family. His affliction with understanding humans is so strong that he is afraid of him. Throughout the book, Oba describes humans as if he is separated from them. He resorts to buffoonery in his early years to establish interpersonal relationships. Kya, Pol Pot-chan? Kya, Pol Pot-chan? Please don't genocide me. I think Tsuyoshi reads an excerpt in the manga Tsuyoshi. Yeah. It's very popular among disaffected otaku, which is all of them. At least they aren't fat. Once you actually get like deep into the alcoholism, like really deep, you stop eating and you get all of your fuel from your alcohol, so those guys wouldn't get fat because they were too busy drinking themselves to death. Also, Japanese don't really get fat, they just get diabetes. Gaining weight is a genetic ability in itself because it's your body's ability to store extra calories in the fat format. And a lot of Japanese, instead of being able to store it, it just goes directly to diabetes, which is when your body starts expelling the extra calories in piss. But Baka, don't make me send you to the killing fields. Kya? Hitler-chan. You're so baka. I have to go to Auschwitz now? I think that would be the most politically incorrect anime you could make, and it probably would not get funded. But perhaps we could think of something even more inappropriate than a cute anime Gijinka of the Holocaust. Although I've seen cute anime girl versions of concentration camps on Pixiv and stuff. I can't remember the specific details, but I have seen that shit. So I guess it's not that far. Because, like, the Japanese, they love the Nazi uniforms. I mean, not just the Japanese. Everybody loves the Nazi uniforms, so there's plenty of, you know, waxing nostalgic about the SS to go around. It was done already, yes. It was done already to some degree. So, I don't think the killing fields have been done. What about Great Leap Forward, the anime? Or Cultural Revolution, the anime? How about that? What? I have to accuse my own parents of being anti-communist intellectuals? Chairman Mao One-chan. Is it true that we have to find the dissonant elements in our society and persecute them? Hugo Boss didn't go out of business after World War II. That's gotta say something. I mean, a lot of companies were being used by Axis powers during World War II and they didn't go out of business. You can still buy your cool Mitsubishi Lancer, but Mitsubishi was also making warships during the war as well, so... That time I was reincarnated as an unpaid laborer in northern Siberia, yes. Don't worry, I have my special cheat abilities that will allow me to survive the brutal conditions. What if you just make Nazi anime but color flip the windmill of friendship from black and red to white and blue? Make it the BMW logo. You know what the GPU, when it says free up memory, is it just like deleting all like the files and shit that I have saved that can be immediately pulled up and stuff, so it's not just like sitting at the surface of the RAM or whatever? I don't understand how it works. PC can handle a few more gigs of porn. I still have like 200 gigs plus of space for more AI. I deleted all my videos. I realize I just don't jack off to videos and they take up too much space. Temporary files, cached stuff, yeah. Excuse me while I just go download more RAM. Or pirate some more RAM. Guys, don't pirate your RAM. That's stealing. Your imagination is that powerful? I mean, like, have you seen hentai anime? Like, I jack off to hentai, but none of the hentai anime really has the budget. You know? Like, the amount of movement you get in your hentai anime, it's just not that much movement. It's so close to a slideshow that you may as well just be jacking off to the original manga source material, you know? You know I have. I mean, there might be more recent anime hentai that has, like, higher production values, but unless we're talking about Kite or some sort of classic shit that got, like, a really high budget. Most of them are shoestring budget with GIF quality loops, yeah. They have like one animation that's like super high quality, and then you loop it. That's a good thing about fucking, is that it's like, you know, the piston movement going in and out can be just be looped. They don't make them like they used to. Remember Viper? I do. There's still like Viper RSR doujins coming out in the year 2025 and stuff, and I'm like, damn, Carla really made an impression. Viper RSR not only being it like very well animated, it was also one of the earlier forms of NTR content. Which made it special to a lot of people, I guess. I'm getting my acronyms messed up. The fantasy one, was it RSR? I think it was RSR. I can't remember, like, their naming conventions were so weird. Carla is the succubus. Right? No. Wait, no, it was Mercedes and Carrera. I can't remember her name. Because I didn't actually play the video games. I only was jacking off to the GIFs. Mercedes is the red-haired one. I can't remember the green-haired one. I think Carla was the pink-haired elf of RSR. Yeah, I think I have that right. Have you thought about hopping on the adult tough muscle mommy fan art train? No, I will not be doing that. I didn't watch any Avatar. I don't really have any Avatar. Yeah, Carrera and Mercedes. They're named after the cars. Cars that you would like to ride, just like succubi that you want to ride. I'm trying to figure out what shape I want this glass to be. I don't want it to be like a perfect cylinder. I kind of want it to be like, have some kind of squareness to it, but I don't think it looks good. Fine, we'll make it a little bit round. Ball's Shadowheart elf comic was his last elf banger piece. People pissing me off again. Complaining about not getting enough elf content. Your whipping boy is here if you need him. I'll wait a little bit more until the time is right. Constrictor is the JD Vance of this chat administration. If I learned that Constrictor had converted to Catholicism, I would send him to speak to the Pope and try and explain why the Pope is wrong about theology. What the fuck does it mean? It means that JD Vance is Trump's whipping boy and he exists to be humiliated. JD Vance killed the Pope and we like this Pope. I'm pretty sure he did not kill the Pope. I'm pretty sure he got his ass annihilated. What is this meme? JD Vance killed the Pope? Is this like something going around? I'm not following the hottest JD Vance memes. The last Pope died shortly after Vance visited him? I didn't remember that. The Pope got so much of the ick from the existence of JD Vance. He died. What a tragedy. Literally died of cringe. JD Vance fills a classic VPN role of being a complete idiot that no one wants in power so you won't kill or impeach the president. I mean, it's not even that, like, direct. It's just like the president doesn't want anybody, like, more charismatic or popular than him. Just to being around, right? Like, you don't get to that point of political power and then want like anybody to be in the spotlight. All of these people just want to be in the spotlight maximum level and just keep themselves the most, you know, they get to be center stage. The closest we've had to a somewhat charismatic vice president was Al Gore, I think. And everything else was just like, we need a running mate that isn't going to be like too charismatic. Peter Thiel's sock puppet. I remember during the Gamergate time, like people were pointing out that sock puppet kind of had like sexual connotations. Like you're sticking your hand up in the hole at the bottom of the sock puppet and like, you know, moving your arm around inside it and making it do what you want it to do. People were like complaining about this because they were like, you know, it's part of the male patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. So whenever anybody uses the term sock puppet now, all I can think about is, you know, Peter Thiel sticking his arm inside JD Vance's spread asshole and really giving his fisting his $300 experience. Everything has sexual connotations if you think like that. That's what my therapist, Mr. Freud, said. Dr. Freud told me that when I had that dream about the snake and the apple, I wanted to fuck my mom, so... It's more fitting since Thiel is gay. Existing has sexual connotations. I was so horny yesterday. All I did was not masturbate like one day. The day before yesterday, I was like, I should not jack off today. That's a good idea. Let's give my cock and balls a rest. And then the next day, I'm like so meaninglessly horny. And I had to jack off twice. I was also jogging, and there was a Japanese female wearing short skirt, and I was just like, whoa, what if I grabbed her and pulled her into the bushes right now and had sweaty, unprotected sex? That did not happen, by the way. The sweaty, unprotected sex never occurred, but then I had to go home and jack off again. Men like you are the reason the burqa exists? Yeah, but every guy is like that. Women want to be viewed with sexual eyes from men that are at least semi-attractive. A lot of Japanese women do dress like burqa, but that's not because they're trying to hide their body. It's because their fashion magazine says that this is what you're supposed to be wearing right now, and they're like, cool. I will be an original human being by wearing exactly the same thing as everybody else around me. Especially when it comes to like temperature. Japanese women and men actually, they just dress like, oh, we're at this time of year, so the fashion magazine says I have to wear this with any kind of regards to temperature. It'll be like fucking, 80 degrees in April, but like the April catalog won't have summer clothing yet, so they'll still be wearing like jackets and shit. And I'm like, have you been outside? Why are you wearing this shit? It's so fucking hot. Oh my god. Not if they have a shitty personality. No amount of looks maxing can save a shitty personality. Looks maxing is overrated. You can just put a paper bag on the face and have the same effect as looks maxing. Do Japanese women still have the hairstyle you made fun about it? That was like 2 years ago, so it's not as popular now. Paper bag is ultimate look maxing technique. I mean, that's why they have the bangs and then like face mask combo. It's basically the paper bag version of it. Because everybody has good-looking eyes, basically. And if you don't like your eyelids, you can get the double eyelid surgery pretty easily. That's like one of the cheapest, probably most common surgeries. But I like the single eyelid just as fine. So it's just like this, right? No representation for cross-eyed girlies. Having your eyes like fucked up is like one of the most unattractive things that you can have. It's immediately, absolutely like freak out. Like you're having it tells you that the person is having an aneurysm or something. You don't need surgery, just eyelid tape or makeup sorcery. Here, let me draw the ideal girl for you losers. I bet she's so cute if she takes off her mask and glasses and everything wasn't being covered with a shit ton of hair. Look, I can see 0% of her face. She must be so cute. Ooh, I don't like glasses, bruv. Excuse me. Most earned ban yet. Yeah. We have no place for anti-glasses posting in this channel. Only the most delicious of Megane girls. I noticed that Ragna literally has the same. My arm is wrapped in bandages, and I assume he takes off the bandages when he unleashes his full power just this once, and then Velvet is doing the exact same shit. Just a classic. It comes from Yu Yu Hakusho. I would say is definitely the first to do it in the most popular format. Yu Yu Hakusho was pioneered. I have to bandage my arm to seal the forbidden dragon power, whatever. I want to be buried under Botan, to be honest. Togashi can draw cute girls when he wants to, but in general he doesn't want to draw at all, so good luck on that. I forgot the girl's name that wasn't Botan, who is just like average girl who's waiting for Yusuke to return or whatever. Talk about, like, you know, boring ass hearing. Manga really have to stop doing that. Just having, like, we have a cute girl, and that's all she is, and she's waiting for the MC to return or whatever. Like, nobody ever likes that character. Keiko, although it's more understandable with Yu Yu Hakusho because it wasn't supposed to be a battle manga in the first place. It was supposed to be like Yusuke does heartwarming deeds even though he's dead. Shit like that, so... But yeah, if the girl's primary job is like standing with her hands clasped in front of her face and being like, I hope that MC-kun will be okay and he can come back to the human world and we can all live happily. If that's her only function in the story, she doesn't really need to exist in the first place. At least Orihime has big-ass titties. making her Raikage NTR porn more profound. Sakura doesn't even have that. Orihime is the heel slut of Bleach? Yes. One of the things... I don't like a lot of things about Bleach. But one of the things I dislike the most is how they're just like, look, now everybody that the author likes now has powers. So they won't have to like disappear from the story. Because the entire story is about having fights. So now you get powers, and you get powers, and you get powers. Actually, I don't like anything about Bleach besides the porn. So I'm kind of like, I'm not part of the fan base at all. So I guess it kind of makes no difference. I wouldn't be buying any Bleach content. So I was never a customer. You don't have to listen to my opinions. It just ain't for me. You have to be like a teenager who reads Bleach and be like, wow, this is the most fashionable shit ever. This is so cool. And if you don't feel that way, Bleach has nothing to offer. So if you're not immediately like, oh, Kubo Sensei, he drew another entire page that was like, basically has a bunch of white space. That's so cool. If you don't feel that way. I wish they did more with Chad because he was cool. He could have been the Raikage of Bleach and fuck Orihime when Ichigo isn't around, but honestly, Ichigo, the only reason why Ichigo isn't the Raikage of Bleach himself is because he's the main character. But like everything about him is like he's the bleached haired Chad that's you know, fucking your big titty childhood friend while you're away. If you think about it, right? You need to be reminded of Bleach's coolness. Play the Orange Rage intro song. No, I don't think I will. Instead, I'll just go masturbate to more Yoruichi porn. The cat will do, yeah. Literally a cat. You aren't forcing 5th graders to read the entire manga while locked in a room. I wonder what kind of mental disorder that guy had. I'm guessing it was something on the ASD spectrum. The like, I don't understand that people don't like the thing I like seems very Asperger-y or autism-y. You must appreciate the bleach. Is current time the happiest you've ever been? Little to no IRL interaction, doing what you love for a living, presumably. I will say that my happiness does go down when I have to deal with people. That's for sure. I'm currently at the right amount of human interaction, which is like, I talk on this stream once every other day, and then I talk to my parents on the phone, and that's about it. Any sort of situation in which I have to go out into society and like ride the train and stuff is extremely stressful. And I can do it like one day at a time, and it's like, you know, it's a good break from the monotony of being trapped in my room drawing, but I can't do it like every day without just becoming exhausted. But I have been living this life for quite a while before this, though, because I was doing that in America before I moved to Japan. The happiest was when he got a boner yesterday from spotting a female. I had just boners nonstop yesterday for some reason. Not for some reason, because I didn't properly masturbate. That's why. What about when you lived in a dorm way back when? It must have been hell. Year one of college, freshman year, I had to live with a roommate, and I was able to survive it, but I did not enjoy it at all. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, I don't understand how people can even survive living in the same space as another human being. It just seems so painful and so stressful. Like, people who have multiple roommates. People who are like, I'm gonna go to New York, and I'm gonna get an extremely expensive apartment, and I'm gonna share it with 4 other people. And the apartment is gonna be the size of a broom closet. And that I love being in New York so much that this isn't gonna bother me. It's like, that ain't for me, dog. It's crazy that people can actually do that shit. But I guess not everybody is Asperger, autism. It's okay if you're living in a giant haunted Japanese traditional house and all of your roommates are a sexy ghost, sexy yokai, and sexy robot girl, and you're the only guy there. And the problems you have living with your roommates is you walking into the bath when they're still naked and they're like, "Kya, MC-kun." Whoops. Sorry, I couldn't have seen that happening, even though it's happened 10 times in the last 5 days. Who could have predicted that you would be undressing when I entered the bath? Not me. Nobody could have foreseen this outcome. It's called moving to another part of the house for hours at a time to avoid interaction. Yeah. That is how it works out, I assume. Baka baka! Throws bath ladle at head. Imagine that instead of resorting to physical violence, the members of the communal living situation all decided to treat the situation rationally and set up a strict scheduling chart that people would follow, so they would, and also have put signs on the bath so that you would know if somebody else was in the bath or not, so that they wouldn't have the same situation occur again. It would be like, yes, and then we set up a system in which we would all know whether someone was in a bath or not, and by closely following that system, such sort of mishaps never happened ever again. The end. That doesn't result in hilarious hijinks. I guess you could still just like trip and fall and do her titties, or have like your nose rubbing against her clitoris. So just having a scheduling chart isn't going to solve that. A real life Asuka Langley would be more violent. If I had to, we've already done the Evangelion like roommate chart, but yeah, Rei would be like the ideal roommate, just like catatonically lying there without saying anything. And Asuka and Misato are like the absolute worst case. I swear to God, if I had to live with Misato for like even more than like a few days, I don't care how fucking hot she is. The moment I saw like the fucking kitchen and her, whatever the shit she left there without cleaning up, I'd just be like, out. Get the fuck out right now. That's it. We're done. Imagine the smell. Everything would just smell like beer all the time. I don't think you would even be able to smell like her fragrant female aroma. It would just be like smell like alcohol. Stale beer, rotting yakisoba containers, penguin shit. That's right, the penguin also smells like fish. The fishy smell of the penguin combined with the fishy smell of Misato's unwashed vagina. Imagine it. It's like basically just abuse to put Shinji in that situation. Evangelion is multiple hours of abusing Shinji. It really is. None of Evangelion would have happen if they had a just like responsible adults around Shinji. Do we have any Tales specialists who know what kind of drinks that Velvet would drink? What kind of alcoholic beverages she would imbibe? What drinks does Velvet Crow drink? Velvet refuses to drink alcohol because she's too young. The standard Japanese anime where they can show murder Japan and like showing underage characters drinking is like America and sex versus America and violence. Oh no, she's straight edge. I can ignore that shit because once they like set a teenage age, they have to like 100% pretend that people aren't doing underage drinking. I don't know why it's that way in Japanese media. There might actually be like some sort of legal issue where they just can't show underage drinking under any circumstances. Like, you can show characters just, like, straight up committing all these other kinds of crime, but you can't just show underage drinking. Give her a Weenie Hut Junior Sundae. I'm gonna give her alcohol to further emphasize the fact that we are outside of the canonical universe. I mean, it's just a fucking glass. The Sonic Cherry Limeade Route 61 size. I'm just gonna give her a tall glass to differentiate from the standard whiskey glass that Ragna has. Sonic Cherry Limeade doesn't fuck around. I miss wrecking my bladder every day after work with Sonic drinks. Rest in peace. It was my salve after getting harassed by Karens and incels all day. I have never been to a Sonic. There just wasn't any in my area. Also, I don't want to spend money on drinks. Why waste money on drinks when you can drink water? What I drink nowadays is barley tea. For like 500 yen, you can get like a huge bag full of like these massive barley tea packets. And you just like dump it in like your bottle of water. And in an hour you have all this barley tea without having to boil it. Mugicha Fox. Yeah, I can't drink caffeine at this point in my life, so Mugicha doesn't have any caffeine. Mugicha is as Japanese summer as your tan cousin out in the country who's wearing jean shorts and you didn't know was actually a girl, but then when you came back 5 years later, she has big titties and you're like, Tomokun, you were a girl all along? And then you have sex. Sweaty sex in traditional Japanese house in summer with fireflies and watermelon and cicadas in the background and that thing in the pig-shaped object that you burn to keep the mosquitoes away. Barley tea is a set with all of that. It sort of is, it inhabits the same space. Greenlit, now that's a fucking show. It is the traditional Japanese summer experience that the gaijin cannot experience because they don't have a cousin that happened to be a big titty girl. They have no Japanese countryside home to go back to. Stop being like Alex. It's okay. It's legal over here. Me. Let's actually search YouTube. Japanese summer noises. Cicada shrilling 120 minutes. Traditional house atmosphere cicada voice wind chimes. 2.1 million views. Imagine the sound, chat. Brr goes the fan as you try to escape the blazing summer heat. The sweaty tan skin of your cousin. Oh, and this one they have Mitsuya Cider here. Off-brand Mitsuya Cider. Natsuyasumi da. Fucking cicadas, man. The ambience and all that shit might be nice for about 30 minutes, but it goes all summer long. Who the fuck invented these creatures? It's a geriatric town with nothing to do and shit Wi-Fi connection. Yes, the only thing you can do is have sex with your cousin again, leading to the cousin fucking. Also, you can go into the mountain and capture stag beetles and then find the abandoned, corrupted shrine with horrifying sexo 8-foot-tall woman and have sex with her as well. There might also be an Inari goddess that you could have sex with. Just lots of sex having in all these rural Japanese towns. You'd think they wouldn't have such a population problem, considering all the shotas that are being corrupted by evil spirits and stuff. I'm fucking crying. Why can't I be Dojin protagonist? You need to grow your hair out so we can't see your eyes. That's step one. Japanese countryside looks amazing, not gonna lie. The thing about the Japanese countryside is it has like some sort of sketchy mountains everywhere. So there's always like some kind of weird ass mountain shrine full of abandoned ancient god. Caps twice at shrine and bows, please give me a cute girlfriend this summer. Immediately shrine opens up and big titty fox lady comes out and starts talking in her nanjato kind of voice. Of course, her kimono has been lowered somehow to her boobs so you can see her cleavage. Remember, guys, when the fox shrine maiden has kimono like this, this area here, this doesn't actually make sense physics-wise. There's really no way to maintain your kimono in this position. It's just gonna go farther downward. But somehow they can somehow use their fucking magical abilities to keep the kimono right at this point. Scariest of all forest creatures, an obnoxious gaijin. You can also have like some sort of white person show up and be like, "Oh, Japanese shrine, very, very pretty, ne?" And then you can have sex with the annoying white woman. That's also a possibility, I guess. The other option when you go back to the countryside is if you're married to a wife and you go back to your local area, all of the villagers are like, "It is local custom that we all have to gangbang your wife." And the husband is like, "Yep, seems about right." And the wife is like, "What? I haven't heard about this." And he's like, "Sorry, babe, this is just, it's our culture." And then by like episode 3, she's like, "Yeah, I guess it's fine. I'm getting used to the whole getting gangbanged by 30 people every night part of this local village." It's understandable because they have to worship the local deity of cock and balls and impregnation. So I guess I need to get fucked by 80 faceless, ugly men every night. What about nuisance streamer? Somebody needs to make a dojin about tanned skin nuisance streamer Gene Somali going to, I guess in this case it probably wouldn't be Korea, it would be Japan, and being too much of a Mesugaki brat and annoying too many of the locals. And then she gets sent to the atonement prison. Whoa, stupid nuisance streamer. Get corrected, get corrected, get corrected. Plap, plap, plap. I like how what is happening to Johnny Somali is like extremely serious and will probably be ruining his life, and he'll suffer a lot of horrible things. And literally nobody is like, guys, this is overreaction. Which it kind of is if you think about it. Like he was just, what was he doing? He was defacing the Korean prostitution statues and producing AI porn of K-pop idols and stuff like that. And what's he gonna get, like 5 years or some shit? Oh, he only got 6 months? Okay, I guess it's fine then. If he was getting like 5 years, then I would be like, it's pretty overreaction. But if it's 6 months, it's like, whatever. That's pretty lenient. 6 months is too little, to be honest. Everybody wants to see this guy suffer so badly. I have literally heard not heard a single person be like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, even all of his followers is like, LMAO, he's going to jail, LOL. Like, his entire existence is just a punching bag. He just wants to see people, everybody just wants to see him suffer. I bet the only thing his followers are sad about is the fact that he won't be able to live stream his prison beatings. IRL streamers are cancer? Yes. I mean, streamers are already cancer. Bringing this cancer into the real world is just, it's a really bad idea. We should not allow it. I remember an IRL streamer bothered the wrong guy and got shot, and everyone was still like, LOL, LMAO. Yes. IRL streamers are like the random encounters you get in RPGs. Like, you're just minding your business, and then it's like, and like the screen changes, and now you're in a battle mode. So if somebody uses the extremely powerful magic of shoot the streamer, nobody who's watching is like, he didn't deserve that. Everyone is like, LMAO. As Korean taxpayer, 5 years is wasted by tax. They should just kick him out. I mean, Japan had the right idea where they were like, we're going to kick you out and you can't come back. But Korea was like, no, you can't leave. And it's like, uh-oh. Didn't die, though. The internet has made fucking around and finding out much, much easier for thousands and thousands of Darwin Award potential nominees. Like the guy who was fucking around and finding out whether a 50 caliber Desert Eagle round could pierce through the book he was holding in front of him. He found out that, in fact, a 50 cal round could pierce a book. And the emergency room personnel also found out that his organs had shut down and he was dead, so... Sometimes I wish we still had ancient punishments. I mean, we wouldn't have this situation in the first place if we were talking about ancient society, because the only reason these people do this shit is because they have an audience watching them on the internet. If they didn't have the audience, they wouldn't do this shit in the first place. I guess Johnny Somali in like ancient times could have been like a jester who wasn't very good at his job and wasn't actually good at telling jokes and didn't know when to like quit, and then he pissed off the king and the king just like executed him. I could see that version of Johnny Somali. He thought he was funny, but he was not. Had the girlfriend shoot him. That woman that tried to take a photo with a snow leopard, what, did the snow leopard get her? Did she find out about snow leopards not being cuddly cats or something? The guy who had the girlfriend shoot him with a desert eagle, I mean, he found out, but she found out too. I wonder if she got charged. I'm assuming because she was a female, the judicial system was extremely lenient on her responsibility in shooting her stupid streamer boyfriend, as it should be in this case. Literal leopards ate my face. I mean, the big cats are kind of a trap, right? Because a lot of them do just behave like cats, except we kind of forget that our house cats will eat our face if they feel like it, so... Man, these cicadas really are going off. Notice how there's like all these different cicada types. There's that beep, 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 beep type, and then there's that kind of sound. These are all real. I've heard them. There's just a super wide variety of cicada noises, and they cannot shut the fuck up. My cat will not eat my face because her face is flat and she can barely eat her kibble without much exertion. I feed her supplementary slop. Yes, we have successfully bred our pets to the point that they cannot survive without our help. And in that case, they will probably not eat our face. Tragically, they don't have the ability. They're so much louder in person. They really are. It gets to the point where it's just like, oh my god. I can't fucking hear anything. The queen must have her churros. Do Americans know about how much cats like their churu? The chooter is really an amazing product because, like, pretty much every cat absolutely loves it. And cats are, like, the pickiest motherfuckers on the planet. But the factory really figured out how to produce something that all the cats like. It's kind of like an amazing accomplishment of modern engineering. Churus have infiltrated the States. I knew they were sort of around, but I didn't know how much like Americans knew about it. Give the cat the churu. It's like crack, basically. Are you more of a dog or cat person? My mother is a cat person, so I've been forced to live with cats my entire life. I assume I'd be more of a dog person because of the autism. Autistic people like creatures that listen to their orders and like stability. My personality is much more closer to a cat, though, because I'm self-centered. I want the other creature to listen to my needs. So I guess optimal version would be to have a trained dog in my case. And then secondary option would be just a normal cat. And then like worst option would be untrained dog that I have to take responsibility for, and it's like shitting everywhere all the time. I guess you can't potty train any kind of dog, but you know what I mean. I didn't notice this when I was living in the States because there weren't so many Shibas around me. But man, the Shibas really do not listen to their owners, do they? And not in like the usual dog of like, oh, I'm so excited to be here, I'm going to walk around like crazy kind of manner, but in the I don't want to move kind of manner. I hadn't seen that really much at all in the States, but now that I'm in Japan, I see it all the time. They're just like, I don't want to move now. I'm just going to sit here. And then the owner is just kind of like tugging on the leash and is like, no. No move. It's like you're a dog. You're supposed to want to frolic outside. What is wrong with you? Along with corgis, I would just get a golden retriever or something. Paying $5,000 to the breeder is a low cost to pay if I don't have to deal with the personality of these annoying dogs, other dogs. Goldens are sweethearts, but prepared for them to constantly want to be around you. Okay, I'm not going to have a dog in the first place. I guess it doesn't matter. I've worked so hard to not have a dog around me at this point, so I'm looking forward to living in a situation in which I don't have to deal with this shit. Getting a pet is an exercise in heartbreak. You can either go the route of having to deal with the tragic death of your pet when they die before you, or you can get a pet that lives longer than you by getting a giant tortoise, and now you have to figure out who you're going to pass the pet down to. That's basically the only two options you have. Or get a pet that you expect to die so quickly that you don't care. Get like a worm or something. But then why would you want a pet in the first place? I don't understand the mentality of people who are like, yes, I'm through my 10th hamster this year. This one lasted 8 months. Yes, the parrot is like the ultimate example of this. It's going to live longer than you, and it's also never going to shut the fuck up. I think if I had a parrot, I would legitimately go insane. Because they, especially like gray parrots and stuff, the language they speak is just close enough to human speech that it seems like you're speaking with somebody, but it's never like actual human speech. It's like always on the precipice of human speech. It would drive me crazy. Like, because I would want to try and have a conversation with it, but then it would be like obvious that it wasn't actually truly understanding what it was saying, except sometimes it does. It's like the ChatGPT psychosis, honestly. Except you're not allowed to turn it off. Yeah, and then the parrot would pick up on all the words I say while I'm streaming. Oh my god, it would be so bad. Man, trying to figure out how to do blacks and stuff in black and white is very difficult. You just want to... Maybe I shouldn't add any grays at all. That doesn't look like the character. Red and black is a very hard color scheme to do in manga because red is a very like high intensity color and so is black. So they're often both indicated using like hard blacks like her hair and stuff. But because it's a high intensity color, you can't just like spam those high intensity colors. It can get very awkward very quick. Guinea pigs are dumb as bricks, but their simple existence soothes my soul. Guinea pigs are really at the top of my list with like pandas and stuff for like how did they not go extinct up until this point? Like what is it about the guinea pig existence that has allowed them to survive up until now? Lots of sex. I guess that's what it comes down to. You just need to outbreed your predators. Guinea pigs fuck a lot. Pandas, on the other hand, panda be like, I need human help or else I literally can't give birth. What a weird existence. Literally only can get pregnant once a year. Can't they, like, not reproduce without human help at this point? Like, do we know if panda population in the wild is even capable of, like, having kids? Like, their dicks are so small that it doesn't work and all sorts of shit I hear. They rarely breed in the wild. That's not a good sign. They only ovulate for like 2 days out of the year. This is how we explain like why the elf population doesn't explode. It truly makes no sense why they haven't gone extinct. You need like $1 billion breeding program just for them not to disappear off the face of this earth. This shit is bizarre. Saying pandas have small dicks is truly xenophobia. Panda penis size. Even though the penis of an adult male is only about 3 centimeters long, with pandas, size matters. Not a good sign. Giant panda mating, reproduction, and cub raising. Female giant pandas may breed every 2 years or less frequently. LMAO. Breeding is from March to May. I also learned today that wombats fight with their butts. Yeah, wombats basically do everything with their butts. They use their butts to, like, plug their holes so that predators can't enter. They have extremely tough asses, and then they smash their asses into their enemies or, you know, whoever they're fighting with. You know, the stupid part is this mirrors most of Asian birth rates. Everybody pretending like Asian birth rates are low, but they're the same as, I mean, I guess South Korea is particularly low, but Asian birth rates are the same as all developed countries, which is to say below replacement levels. White countries are constantly, like, gaslighting themselves into being like, we're not going extinct unlike those Asians, but they basically have the same birth rate as, like, you know, China and stuff like that, so. Cube poops, ass game too strong. We need more wombats in our life. Those things are incredibly cute. Alright, guys. I'm going to end the stream here. I want to watch NBA playoffs. See you guys. Good night. Have a nice night. Good night, boys.